in India, we are connected to nature in many ways, but sometimes in cities we've forgotten that. I think people have forgotten their relationship with the river. I think we remember the river on 2 or 3 days of the year, such as a puja. So when there's a puja, we're like, oh, let's go to the Yamuna, but otherwise it's not a place for us. I think the younger generation is very conscious. A lot of people have joined movements against climate change. I do think though this generation is much better than the one before that, because there's a lot more conversation. Hi everybody, my name is Neha Sinha. I live in Delhi. This is my new book, Wild Capital, on nature in cities and nature in Delhi. I'm so pleased to be here at KLF. This is my first time at KLF, and what a venue on the beach. I'm just coming from seeing Aziz feeding the kites on the beach. It was amazing. And the number of people who've come to the festival, the quality of the questions has been so amazing. I had 3 sessions today, and I still don't have answers for some of the very deep and thoughtful questions I was asked. So KLF is a wonderful lit fest. I've been to a lot of lit fests. This one is very different. It's very laid back, but it's also very serious. So I really am enjoying myself being here.
Meeting a delegate means for Keralites, we live in a place where we are so much in touch with nature. We are so much in love with nature. We conserve, we preserve forest and everything. So meeting a delegate, first question would naturally be, do you have good air to breathe now? Are you okay?
It's interesting because anytime anyone says about Delhi, it's always about the air pollution and the bad quality of the air pollution. So it's true, the air pollution is terrible because it's a capital city. There's a lot of burden on the city, the number of people who live there, industries, just the numbers of cars as well. But Delhi has incredible biodiversity. So we have the Aravalli Mountains, which are one of the oldest fold mountains on earth. We have more than 400 bird species. We have several mammals. We have incredible native plants, and my book finds all these plants. We have 2 rivers in Delhi, the Yamuna River and the Sahibi River. And because we're not far from the Himalayas, which is of course the tallest mountains on earth, we get a lot of migratory birds coming as well. So Delhi is actually a nature's paradise. It's the second greenest city in the world, and it's full of birds and it's full of migration of people as well as of animals. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, as you said, you're very closer to Yamuna. The same thing happens for Yamuna because the natural beauty or maybe the conservation part is less discussed, but the polluted part has been globally discussed. What do you think about that? Because you have to criticize something which you have already worked for, or you have done something to preserve that, then you can obviously criticize that people are not using it good, or maybe the system is not good. But apart from doing, or apart from having any effort to preserve or conserve, there are people, I would say especially global media, talking about Yamuna and the pollution, water pollution. What do you think on that?
I think people have forgotten their relationship with the river. I think we remember the river on 2 or 3 days of the year, such as a puja. So when there's a puja, we're like, oh, let's go to the Yamuna, but otherwise it's not a place for us. And I think one of the ways to reclaim the Yamuna as a river is to make biodiversity parks on both sides of the river, throughout the stretch of the river, which will allow people to start walking alongside the river. And we've kind of done this in 2 places in Delhi, but this should be done along the entire stretch of the river, so that people can start walking and exploring, and that's one way to re-establish that connection. In India, we are connected to nature in many ways, but sometimes in cities we've forgotten that connection. Whether it's Chennai building roads above the canals or above the rivers, whether it is, in any big city, all the freshwater channels have become dirty drains because of all the pollution and the solid waste. So we need to re-establish our connection with the rivers. And not only do we need money to kind of clean up, which is already there, by the way, but we also need to make a place for the river in the hearts of people. It's only when people ask for this that it will actually happen. And I think it is happening very slowly with the biodiversity parks, but a lot more needs to be done.
Connecting with the money part, every time when you go for a place like it's so beautiful, scenery and everything, there we have some or other sorts of tourism projects happening. But do you really think that in India, we have a long-term vision where we actually develop a place into a tourist spot, but we don't have the vision to sustain the nature or sustain the natural beauty of that place. Do you have any opinions?
So, tourism is very important because did you ever see a tiger? If you've ever seen a tiger, must have been maybe in a tiger reserve, or maybe the first migratory bird you saw was in a bird sanctuary. And unless people see something, they'll never care about it. It will just remain a story on paper. So tourism is important, but tourism has to be gentle on the place, and it should also be gentle on the people who live around that place. So if there are communities around the tourist spot, they should benefit from tourism. And we want to take the best parts of human existence to these places, which is we want to take our imagination, we want to take our wonder, we want to take our stories to these places, and we don't want to leave these places with our worst parts, which is all the garbage, all the noise pollution, all the light pollution. So we have to be really mindful. It's like going inside a temple. Take off your shoes, be quiet, and treat that place with reverence and respect. And there's a garbage problem today with tourism. And we go to a beautiful tourist spot because it's clean, because it's silent, because it's peaceful. So there's no point making it dirty and noisy and lacking in peace. So we have to go with that understanding and that respect. And a lot of natural places in India are absolutely spectacular. I think we are so blessed with an incredible diversity of mountains and forests and rivers and glaciers. So let's go to these places with the respect that we have in temples or in sacred areas, and let's get our garbage back with us. Let's not leave it over there. So every time I go to the Himalayas, I get my garbage back and I take it to a proper garbage dump. Yeah.
So every field we discuss about the evolution of Gen Z or maybe the younger generation, how they think, how the technology is making a revolution on their lives and all. What is your perspective on the young generation's aspect on nature and their connection with maybe conservation, or the reality of accepting the fact that they are going to lose what they have now in terms of geography, in terms of land, river, etc., etc. So what is your perspective? How inspiring and hopeful they are?
I think the younger generation is very conscious. I think a lot of people have joined movements against climate change. They have joined movements to save forests, to stop the destruction of nature. In many cities, we have so many young movements by students, etc. Now, the thing is, the only hesitation I have is they're glued to their screens. I think this is a generation that grew up with a cell phone next to them. They had a cell phone in school and college. And so I would just urge the younger generation to go out a lot more, to go in the outdoors and feel things and see things and smell things for themselves. It's only when they do that can they truly begin to admire nature. I think the theory is all there. I think I meet young people every day who have climate anxiety, who feel like they're living on a doomed planet and they want to do something about it. Now, that energy coupled with actually understanding our nature, like if you are here in Kozhikode, go to the beach, go to the mangroves, see which are the birds that are coming. So there are Brahmini kites, there are black kites, there'll be migratory birds as well. Go and make a plan with your friends to go see the migratory birds in the season, and that would just make it completely perfect. I do think though this generation is much better than the one before that, because there's a lot more conversation, there's a lot more awareness, and I have a lot of hope in the younger people of today.
When we always talk about the commercial side of any living, there is always one category called as eco-friendly. Whatever we take, we have some products like named or tagged as eco-friendly. But at the same time, later after their flourishment and all, we realize that they had a percent of, or maybe half of them are not real eco-friendly, the so-called eco-friendly. Do you think that the law enforcement is good enough that we actually promote those companies or those products which are actually doing good to nature, or do we lie in a situation where we have this fake eco-friendliness all around?
So it's a combination of things. One is we have to reduce our own consumption at an individual level. So let's reduce the use of plastic, for example. The other is we need better goods in the market also. So for example, biodegradable plastic bags are often more expensive than a normal plastic bag. So then why is somebody going to buy a biodegradable bag? He's just going to buy a normal plastic bag, which doesn't solve the problem at all. So I think from the government, we need to have a harder push, maybe subsidies for certain goods that will have a better footprint on the earth. But we need both things really. So if 10 billion people say it's just one straw, let me just use one plastic straw, then that's 10 billion straws. So it's a combination of changing personal habits along with asking for structural changes in which better goods and better products come to the market. I think anything that's eco-friendly should actually be cheaper, should be made cheaper so that people are incentivized to buy them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.